This episode is a special episode in collaboration with MTV as a mini tribute to the wonderful hip hop reality show they hosted titled MTV Hustle 03 Represent. Please make sure to check out all of the amazing performances on the show through the link in the description. For now, though, enjoy the podcast. Welcome to the latest episode of the Indoencers podcast. This episode is a special episode in collaboration with MTV Hustle ahead of the finals of MTV Hustle 3.0 coming up this weekend. To prepare all of you for the upcoming finals, we have one of the finalists of MTV 3.0, the first female finalist, in fact, here at the Indoencers podcast. Our guest started off her artistic journey early on with Kathak, after which she went through a phase of playing guitar and singing before she ultimately found her home in the world of original hip-hop. Her diverse artistic background truly shines through in her rap as well, whether it's incorporating rap into semi-classical in the form of Alibela Sajan, into rock in the form of Yelame Nidan, into traditional folk in the form of Morba Neta Nagatikare or Kate, among various other genres and languages she has covered. Coming from a humble background in Ratnagiri, Maharashtra, she has risen to national stardom not only by capturing the hearts of MTV Hustle judges and fans, but also through her work previously with record labels such as Kalamka Music and Z Music India, and now with Dopamine Records. To discuss her journey and the upcoming finals in greater detail, I'm super excited to be sitting down today with the powerhouse singer and rapper, Mrunal Shankar. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on.
Thank you for inviting me and thank you for such a lovely introduction. That was a long intro. I didn't know that I've done that much. I've kind of forgotten about it.
I mean, every guest says this, that they're kind of surprised to hear everything they've done. But just a reminder that, you need to look back and be proud of everything you've achieved because you've achieved a lot, certainly.
Long while that we are doing this now, so sometimes it happens that we forget what happened a few years back and we're just enjoying this moment so we don't remember our hustles before this one.
True. So yeah, I just like to use this podcast as an opportunity to kind of look at your past and kind of see how you've gotten to this stage, how you've gotten to where you are right now. So let's start right in the beginning. I'd like to spend a few minutes understanding your musical background. As I understand it, you started off with Kathak, but you've also spoken extensively about your love for Beyonce and other such female pop artists. So those are completely different genres. And so that suggests you've had a very diverse and, musical upbringing. Can you tell us a little bit about the music you listened to when you were a child? What were the first musical genres that you were exposed to?
I come from a very middle class Marathi family, and we literally did not have any, other channels, TV channels, or internet access like people used to have at that time until 12th grade, I guess. So my musical journey actually started pretty late. Before that, we used to watch only Doordarshan, DD National, and there was only one movie every weekend which you watch in 2-3 parts or something like that. So I had a very constrained knowledge of international stuff. But when at that time, I was involved in classical dance and I wanted to do Western, but I did not have access to it in my city where I spent my childhood. So when I shifted to Pune for engineering, that's my birthplace too. That's why I call myself Punechi Por. So it's like there actually I got a chance to explore my vocal abilities, to show it, and I received the appreciation. And then I realized, okay, I'm good at this. I didn't know that I was good at this. I was doing multiple things. I was good at sports. I was good in educational, exams and competitive exams. And I had actually planned to become an officer or something. So totally academic career I had planned for myself because I was good at studies. But when I came to Pune for engineering, now I realized the other potential of me. I got to be a part. I got a chance to be a part of a rock band where I was a lead singer there, and so I got to be part of a rock band and I was lead singer there, and we performed at many college events, and that's where I realized that this feels like home. The stage is the place where I don't want to get out of there for a moment. When I'm there, I'm very comfortable. It felt like I'm supposed to do this. I'm meant for this. So still I was in doubt that should I continue my education, should I do a job and do music. So it took me a long time to realize that music is the only thing I want to do, and not I don't want to balance job and music. I did that. I was working in a production company, or that was a international production company actually. Worked there for a year or two, and then I realized that I'm not made for this. That I wanted to give it a try, go have a safer option, but it didn't work out as I thought it would. So yes, I decided that I will not pursue my engineering career. I will just do this. I spent some months without a job. I was just thinking, what can I do? How can I earn a little bit so that I can invest in my music? So I took a part-time job as a music teacher in online school. That was probably a time 2020, when there was a lockdown and we had to sit home. So I was doing it as a part-time job. Online schools. There were some online schools, and I was teaching music to kids. So that's how it took a turn. That only music lane will be there now, no other distractions. So I thought I will figure out slowly what I have to do, and eventually in lockdown only I explored my hip hop side. Before that, I was only looking at me as a singer, who sings hooks in hip hop songs. There is a singer, always a singer, lady singer who sings hooks, and she's known for that only. I was like, I will be that person. But later, when I realized that okay, I can be more than that, so I started writing. I Before 2020, I was a performer at bars and cafes who play solo gigs, acoustic gigs, Bollywood mashups, and this and that. I used to do that. But even after doing that for a few months, I realized that I'm not the important factor in this whole setup. People are looking at me as a secondary option. As in they're not coming for me. They're not coming for my music. Not for my voice. Uh, it feels very sad when somebody you're playing for 2 hours and they're not even looking at you. Then that was a point I realized that I want to make something where I'm respected for my art, and original music was one of the ways to do it. So that's why I chose to write, and it eventually turned out to be rap. That's what came within from me. So yeah, that's how I started it.
I mean, I find it fascinating because you say, you only realized music was for you later on. But there was a really interesting story I heard about your childhood, which is that when you were at school, you'd get these poems, you'd compose tunes for them, and then your
Yeah.
friends really liked them, so they would sing your tunes to these poems. I mean, I found that mind-boggling because, you don't necessarily come from a strict musical background from your earliest days, but yet you were able to compose these tunes. So how do you think you were able to do this at such a young age? Was it instinct, or was there somebody who inspired you, or anything like that?
When I was in school, actually I did not have any musical influence also, because we didn't have access to internet that much. Whatever came happened that time was just natural, that it just came to me. So there was some interest, but along with music I was doing many other things. So I did not realize that I'm made for just music. I thought maybe I can be a dancer, or maybe I can be a sports person. So I was very confused. In school you do tons of things. Your parents go take you to all of the classes and extracurricular activities, and I was good at all of them. So it took me a lot of time to realize which one is it that I don't have to, push myself in. I just fit in. So it took me almost, I realized it at the age of 23, 24, that yes, only music you have to do, don't look at anything else. And I was distracted in all other talents I had. So that's why. That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you talked about how your road to becoming a professional musician was tricky because there was a period where, you had to figure out what you wanted to do in life. And I found your journey quite similar to another artist I've interviewed previously, a folk singer named Anchal Srivastava. And both of you have this similarity in that you're both female, yet your voices are in the lower register. And so she was talking about how she faced a lot of trouble and criticism because people couldn't get used to, a female singer singing in a lower voice. And now it's such a big strength of yours, but I've heard that it's caused you troubles in the past. Did you ever feel like people judged you or made fun of you because of your unique vocal texture?
Yes, but they judged me for sure. When I came to Pune, I went to some singing competitions where I'm still not vocally trained. Now I can say I'm better at it because I realized some things and some tricks and some lessons, and I learned myself few little things. But before, in 2014 15, I used to go to competitions and I was not very vocally trained. So I used to just sing in whatever voice I have and however natural it comes to me. So what used to happen is I used to sing songs like suppose Hale Dil, okay, some Bollywood songs, but I used to sing it in exact scale, in the exact scale in which the male singer was singing originally. I did not used to pitch it up because it was comfortable to me. So it was like the judges used to think that uh, it's no, I'm bringing that sound to me. They thought that's not my natural voice. So it took. I got rejected at a lot of competitions, saying that this is not your originality. They thought that the girls come with a very thin sound, very melodious and soothing sound. But I did not have that naturally. But when I used to be in myself, I was told that you're not being yourself. So it took me a lot of time to realize that, okay, what am I doing? I don't know what's going wrong. So, and my voice was naturally very heavy. Like even from school, I used to be in NCC. So I was what do we say, PO cadet. You order your troop to go forward or march or stop or left and right. So I used to give orders in very loud voice. So I think that was somewhere I got trained to just throw it out all out, the energy, the power. It came from that, I feel. So it was natural to me. Also, I feel most of the girls these days have heavier voices. That's also because of the hormonal imbalance somewhere, because most girls have PCOD and this and that. I also have it. So I feel somewhere my voice has become heavier and heavier because of course, my lifestyle. And of course, it is originally somewhere then, and also it's because of hormones, because it is one of the side effects of PCOS or PCOD. So that's why it's like it's natural. We don't bring it out, it's just there. We can't help it. So we just have to put it to good use and use it properly and at right place. So to get where should I use it, to understand that, it took me a lot of time. That's only regret I have, that I why couldn't I have figured it out earlier? That's it.
Well, you've certainly figured it out now in the world of hip hop. And it's very interesting because, you were doing this kind of more Bollywood or cover artist kind of stuff. And then suddenly you switched into hip hop and just became an absolute superstar. It seems like almost overnight from the outside. So, like, how did you get into hip hop and like, how did you kind of grasp it or understand the genre so quickly? Because a lot of people, graft for 10, 15 years just in hip hop and then they get to the level you're at. You seem to have got it really quickly.
I grasped it a little quicker, maybe because I had a singing background before. I had a sense of rhythm because of my, I spent 5 years learning Kathak, so I learned rhythm very perfectly. I was never offbeat. Uh, I do had guitar classes for a year and two, so I learned guitar. I used to teach guitar to little kids, so I had a knowledge of being playing it and singing it at the same time, and also uh, being in a pitch and scale and everything. So I got prepared vocally in those 8 9 years where I was just singing and trying to learn singing. And when I realized that I had to make music, I had to write originals. Original music is the new future. So when I realized, I started writing, and it just uh, I wrote it as a poetry. And somebody told me that, Mrunal, you should try hip hop, you should try to rap. It will suit your voice. So even after I was told that, after many months, I tried to write a rap just out of curiosity, and Karke Dikhayegi was my first song actually. It's on my YouTube channel. But what happened is, uh, that song I wrote it just to let out my emotions. I had a big fight at my home because they were not agreeing me being a part of a rock band where all boys are there. There are late night shows, and there is no money looking right now because we are just giving, being part of a competitions. If we win, we only earn money. And they just didn't like me hanging out with so many boys for so late at night, and it's not safe for you, you're the only girl. So there was a big fight over this, that while working, while doing a job, I was doing competitions, and I had no time to give at home. So we were like fighting over phone, and I made my father cry because I was like being very persistent that I'm not listening to anyone. Like I'm doing, you said that do job and do whatever you want. I'm doing that, and now you have problems with it. So we were fighting, and then uh, he cried, I cried, and then I wrote this first song, which came to be a rap, and that song later became my reality. Actually, I said, "करके दिखाएगी सही वरना लौट के आएगी नहीं," and that song was written as a storyline. Keeping a storyline in mind that I leave my home, I go achieve something, and after many years I come back and show them I'm something. I did it. So that was a storyline, but eventually it came true that I had to leave my house. I went away somewhere, and there was a big drama. I will explain it somewhere later. So I got like it's like hip hop pulled me into it because my life got so messed up that I had to leave the job. I had to write more because writing was actually therapeutic. It makes you concentrate. It makes you get detached from the world, or you can put your thoughts yourself. And eventually it turned out like I can only write what I have experienced or what I have felt. It's very difficult for me to write imaginary things. So sometimes it's very difficult for me to write quickly because I write from my own life experience or what I'm feeling at that moment, and not what I have to imagine and create a situation and put myself in someone else's shoes, and that's very difficult for me. So that's how I got into hip hop, that I can purely just put out my emotions and compose. I can compose. I was able to compose anyhow, because of the musical experience before. It was easy to just fit every my words in the meter, and to project it in highs and lows, and my the way of delivering it was not boring. Also, my voice was heavy, so it was fitting into hip hop very perfectly. I didn't need to make a space. There was a space for this kind of voice. So yeah, I just had to make more music, and people appreciated me more when I started putting out rap videos. And I realized, okay, so maybe let's try this now, because I used to put singing videos also because that's my first love. And then I used to just try, let's see what happens if I put out this. So when I saw that there was more appreciation, and people made me realize that side of me which I was not looking at. So I thought, let's try this, and eventually in few months of putting out rap videos, I got signed into one of the biggest labels of in hip hop industry. So I felt that, okay, I don't believe it yet that I'm made for hip hop, but hip hop is calling me to itself. So maybe that's how it's meant to be. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be. So I just happened to be there, and it happened to me very easily, and I didn't have to struggle for it, to earn money from music. Uh, it happened very quickly in hip hop. So yeah.
Yeah, and one thing I love about your repertoire is even within the world of hip hop. I talked about how you were incorporating different genres, but you're also kind of rapping to all these different types of beats. So, you're doing maybe this more laid back thing with like, I don't know, XTC, or recently you did Amiri, which is this like Jersey style, really fast paced thing. You've done stuff with trap, with drill. And it's so interesting to see you explore all these different types of beats that require different approaches. How do you approach, do you differentiate your approach to the type of beat that you're writing for? Or does it all just flow naturally?
So what's happening is, even for this competition, before this competition, my mindset is I'm still getting to know what's my thing. You know, there is every artist, say even if it's divine, first beat plays a beat first in first few seconds of his beat. You can feel that, okay, divine will be singing on this beat. There's divine's voice coming in. So I still don't have that my which is my thing. I can say that this is my area, that if this beat plays, so currently what I'm doing is I'm just exploring, also checking the market, what works, what doesn't work. Also, I don't know what in which zone I'm perfect, or in which zone I'm good at or great at. So I'm doing everything and just checking right now that what is it that works, what doesn't work, because everyone wants appreciation, and I want whatever music I put, I want it to reach to people. I don't want it to get ignored or something. So I'm just finding that perfect balance. For that you have to try in 100 different zones and then see which one is yours, or which one is it which you like, and which one is it which audience likes. So you have to just blend both of them together, and everyone is happy. So I'm finding that, and then for that purposes, I'm stepping in every genre, every zone, and just checking that, let's see which one blows up, or which one is loved, which one is respected, and then we'll do accordingly. So that's what I'm doing. I'm still finding my zone.
Yeah, and as part of the journey of finding your zone, of course, you entered MTV Hustle 3.0, and that's been an incredible journey for you because you've been able to do all these different types of songs, and you've been able to meet and collaborate with all these different rappers, artists, producers. So, just in general, can you kind of talk to us about what your biggest takeaways from this journey has been?
Yeah, from MTV Hustle, I will say before coming to Hustle, I think for 1 year or less than a year, I was not able to write good, satisfactory writing. I couldn't bring it out for multiple reasons. I was not in a good state. I was feeling very demotivated. I did not feel like writing anymore. I was not trying. And I thought that if I am I had realized it before, that if I'm in a place of pressure, if I'm given a deadline, if I am told that I'm in a situation where I have to make songs, then I can definitely write, because I know my pattern. So I thought if I go to Hustle by chance, at least I'll learn to write because of the pressure. So that was the goal, and it happened. It was hard in initial days. We had more time, but later on, literally we had 2 3 days to write, compose, record, and remember the song. Because in one we had 1 week, but I am someone who takes a lot of time to get in the zone before writing. So I used to take 3 days to just start the work, then 2 days to write it, then 1 day to remember it. So it was very hectic for me, and but I did it. I pulled it off. One track I did fumble. That was because of I started it very late and I couldn't remember it. That's why I fumbled. But I understood that I can write now. I can push myself. I have to just start it, and then I can complete it. I did not. I had lost the feeling of even starting to write the song. I did not feel like just sitting and focusing in making a new song. So I think I found that in MTV Hustle that I can do it. Everybody knew my situation, what I was going through before coming to Hustle. Team, artists. So literally everyone had helped me. I was not able to write songs in my own room because it was very homely. We were living there for a long time. So I had made that room my home. So I felt like I can't write in a comfortable space. I can write, maybe I have to go out, maybe in a place where like which is not mine, so which is a little bit uncomfortable. So I used to go to others' rooms, and then I used to write. I used to bother them a lot. Like, you do your thing. Let me sit here. I will just change my direction, and I'll do my work. So that's how I wrote songs in Hustle. So I got a lot of tricks that how can I make myself write songs. So even if I don't want to write songs, I don't feel like, how can I push myself. So that's what I learned, and it's necessary as a full time artist. Even though you are not in a good state of mind, sometimes you may have to work because there are deadlines or because you have commitments. So I think that's the biggest takeaway from me for me. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I would love to talk to you more about, your journey and of course at Hustle. Unfortunately, I'm also looking at the clock. So I'll start to wrap up. Of course, we've got the MTV Hustle finals this weekend. There will be a lot of people excited to see you perform and of course all of the other contestants perform as well. Can you just give us a sneak peek on, what we can expect from, of course, your performance and from the finals in general? What should we look out for?
My performance, I will say, I have actually told my life story in a very short, in a very concluding manner. It's not very deep, but I have just told bits and pieces of my story and how I got into hip hop and what happened before it. It's very close to me and it was very personal. So I've actually gone, personal again in my last song where I'm explaining what I am, and I had fun actually. It was a it was a great experience to perform the last song and in front of judges where I'm not judged because it's just a finale performance. They were enjoying it, they were feeling it, and I'm just happy that everybody got to know this side of me, this story of me, and it was overwhelming for me and for them also who understood from the song that what I was saying. So yeah, I'm just thankful and grateful that I got to perform that song on stage, and I made it because of Hustle. I did not think that I will get to perform it on Hustle because it was an extra song I had made, but I am glad that I got to tell my story on national television. So I'm happy, and the finales will surprise you. Just stay tuned.
I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm sure everyone else is too. So yeah, just to end this podcast, we have a tradition here on the Influencers podcast, a closing tradition, and it's a very simple question. What's on your playlist right now?
My playlist. Oh, so currently, it's the finale song only. I actually did not change it after that. I was listening to it because I was practicing. But recent liked song of me was Kingdom by Moray. So yeah, actually I listen to different genres of songs, not mainly hip hop. Since you know, I like blending different genres with hip hop. So I usually listen to other genres, and then hip hop side is whichever comes naturally to me. I just blend it with the musical side. So I listen to other genres, and then blend into hip hop. Yeah.
Sounds
Cool.
great. Yeah, thank
Yes.
you for the suggestion. I will check that song out. And yeah, so yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. It's a bit of a shorter episode this time due to the time constraints, but thank you so much for your time, and thank you to the listeners for tuning in as well. Make sure to check out all of Mrunal's music, and of course, make sure to tune in to the finals of MTV Hustle 3.0 Saturday and Sunday, 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time, only on MTV India and Geo Cinemas. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.